Welcome to Let's Talk Jets Radio.
Mr. Primetime.
Much deserved victory Monday. Cheers.
Mr. Tyrone. And he's gone. It's just
the one time that he's on time and he doesn't even.
That's the way we start this. Just, oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Brian, thoughts and prayers for you and your family, man. Mr. Tyrone, are you back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nah, man. It was I couldn't hear you guys, man.
You weren't missing much. How you doing, man?
Man? Yo, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. So, got this new trainer I'm working with, dog, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I don't like this dude at all. Like, my shoulders, man, bro. This is about as far as I can go right now, bro. This is.
It means you worked hard. It's good.
Yes, sir. But man,
no pain, no gain, man. That's the way this works.
I mean, you know, Mr. Marathon, man. Everybody can't do it like you do it, there, big fella. You know what I mean? So let's stay realistic over here, man.
So what's up, everybody? First of all, thank you to everybody who joined us yesterday in a live stream. That was a roller coaster ride of chaos. Thank you everybody for watching the videos, leaving feedback, interacting with us. That was just a September victory that was that at one point was a foregone conclusion we were going to lose the game prime time.
Absolutely unforgettable stream. And like for all the games for the Jets to be down to their 0.01% probability to win, all the extra receipts that poured in from Samini and everybody else that wrote them off, I stayed positive the whole time, knew the Jets were going to pull it out, never a doubt in my mind. Well done, New York Jets, baby. Let's go.
Let me say something real, right? I'm gonna be 100 with you, bro. I ended up watching the game on my phone, and I'm going to tell you why that happened to be, because I thought that we were going to lose, bro. And that was the greatest comeback, man. It wasn't negative. It's just the reality of what I was watching. We was down 13 points with under 2 minutes left, bro. And listen, I'm going to give it to him, man. Like, that shit was beautiful. And I want to put this out here because I've been getting a little feedback from people. Let me explain something to you, right? I am a fucking fan. But I am a Jet fan before I'm anything else. I never want this team to lose. I never look for it. I never prepare for it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to call out what I see when I see it. Period. And if you don't like it, don't follow me.
Well, see, it's funny you mentioned this, Tyrone. This is a good segue. Because what this stream has been all about for the last 2 years is just fans hanging out, watching football, and reacting as fans. So what we say on our stream would be like me sitting next to you at the stadium, which we've all done together, or us sitting in a bar, and that's our natural reaction. If you're looking for X's and O's, watch the game or watch a different channel. And lucky for you, if you don't like what we do, you have so many other great streams out there. Richie with Jets Media is awesome. Matt O'Leary, Green Bean, Jets Central, Jets Talk 24/7. If we're not your cup of tea, cool. Don't watch us. But this is what we do. And what I don't understand, because we got a lot of feedback. We'll go into the positive. I'm excited as hell. Today's Victory Monday, and I think it's super cool. What I don't understand is people attacking us as negative fans. When I know, Kevin, you at the 2-minute warning, you're still believing. But for the most part, this game you're sitting here like, wow, they're down by 13. The defense has been gross. I can't believe we're losing this game. We're going to do 0-2. And in the back of your mind, like, this is going to be a really long week, man. Sal's going to get roasted. It's going to be ugly as hell. But then when it switched, it's like, cool. But when it switched, we were all buying in. Like, if they can do this, they can do this. Yep. They score a touchdown. Like, we're excited. It's not like the Jets score points. We're like, oh, man, I can't believe we're going to score points now. Like, you're excited.
And I wasn't, and just to be clear, I wasn't actually thinking the Jets were going to win that game. I don't think anybody thought they were coming back. I mean, it's been 2,000 games since the team was down by 13 points with under 2 minutes to actually come back and win. But like you said, dude, like for whatever reason, there are certain viewers that expect us to not have that emotion as we're watching the game, to not react in the moment, to just wait, till after the game, wait till after the season. Don't judge anything in the moment. Like, That's not what we are in this show. And like you said, dude, there are plenty of other channels. If you're looking for the X's and O's, if you're looking for, the green goggles, go Jets go, there are plenty of channels that do a great job with that shit. But we're going to show our emotion. We're going to react to every play. And if you don't like it, fuck off.
And the funny thing is, though, but there's the other thing is too, it's like, it's very easy after the fact, after the Jets win, like, hey, man, you guys are negative. I challenge anybody that's been criticizing me for the last 24 hours, I challenge you to do a live stream and keep that go team go spirit, that spirit when things aren't going well. I guarantee you can't do it. Because as a fan, let's keep in mind, this team hasn't won anything. They didn't win last week. It's just they're in the rebuilding process. So when things aren't going well, you're like, man, like, here we go again. Until they prove us differently, which hopefully yesterday was part of that. And
not for nothing, dude. There are some channels that I'm sure can keep that positive mindset, because they've been doing it for a few months or a year, or whatever. We've been doing this shit for 7 fucking years. Every Tuesday night, we don't miss a fucking week. Like at some point, you start getting frustrated when the team's not producing, when you're not seeing competitive football, when you're not seeing winning football. We all want the same shit. So Tyrone, go ahead, man.
Nah, but listen, try being a fan for 45 years of not that many great memories. And number two, so I end up going back watching the stream anyway. And Tyson, at the end of the game, when we got the onside kick, you were like, yo, we're gonna win this shit. You was hype as hell. Prime time was pumped up. So Prime time muted his phone because he didn't want to see the reaction. Next thing you was like, I
hit it just in time too.
Exactly. So listen, man, I'm gonna be real with you. Like all these people that send me messages, I don't give 2 fucks. Because if you saw me in person, you wouldn't have the same kind of energy. So I love this team. And anybody that knows me knows. Listen, I was a regular fucking caller. You understand that? I was a regular caller. Calling every week, giving my opinion.
Now you're
the same thing I'm doing.
And now you're a celebrity.
I get the check now, baby. I'm just saying, I was doing it for free, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? We love this team. So all that other stuff, man. Listen,
it's wild, man.
Because I'm telling you, I'm sitting beside people yesterday that love this team and said the same shit I was saying. This is bullshit.
What's funny is there was people. I know people that went to the game and left before the Jets came back. I know people that actually in the stadium left. I have friends that watched the game, like, dude, I'm not watching this shit. They turned it off. And then what's funny is they turned it off and they wanted to watch our reaction video. And they're like, holy shit, the Jets won. They couldn't even believe the Jets came back and won. That's the wild thing.
Nobody saw that. But listen, man, this channel has never been about bashing the Jets or being negative. It's always been, we can be upset when we lose.
Just keeping it real, man.
And we give them more than enough credit anytime they ever win or play well. And so, what I also don't understand, just from the fans, and then we'll move on. Why do people feel the need to comment on shit? Like, if they don't like us, they don't like this show. Like I just said before, there's plenty of other shows to watch. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Exactly, dude.
Listen, I told the dude last night.
Everyone's got to add their 2 cents into everything. Bro, if I see content that I don't like, I don't click it. I don't comment on it. Exactly. I ignore it. So
I was nice and tipsy last night. So I gave my full opinion last night. So. Unsubscribe. Fuck out. It's the truth. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I got.
Clearly, we don't do this for subscribers.
Listen, so. I got a homeboy out here. Nah, that type of subscribe. What he said. Nah, you can, bro. If I ever see him, but I have a homeboy who thinks he's a rapper. He sucks. So I don't, bro. Did you listen to our music? No, I did not, bro. And I told him, bro, I love you to death, man. But, bro, you fucking suck. Like, I'm not listening to that shit. I'm not doing that. Why would I? So. But anyway, Victory Monday, baby.
Yes,
but I appreciate everybody that joined us and that was positive, that understood where we were coming from. We all shared in that emotion together. That was an amazing stream.
Yeah, it was probably going back, since I'm old, it probably goes back to the Monday Night Miracle, man. Kind of like that kind of like
had that vibe, didn't it? Didn't it have that vibe though?
Yep.
See, but that was like 15 straight minutes of, all right, another drive, another touchdown, you're getting closer. This was like you are dead in the final 2 minutes, and then out of nowhere.
Listen, the bomb. Okay, Corey Davis, right? So
hold on. Before we go to plays, Hiram. Let's go position by position.
Get hyped.
Let's go with the quarterback. So Joe Flacco coming to the game, but you were a big believer, Tyrone, in Flacco. I was like, you got to have a short leash. Mike White can play. He plays poorly. You got to give Flacco credit, dude. It's funny because the offense going into the game, the defense to me was a strong point. The offense was my concern, and the opposite happened. And now it's because Flacco made some money throws, dude. He spread the ball around. He got every ball. I mean, we'll start with you, Tyrone. Your thoughts on the way Flacco played?
like I said, man, listen, he's cool Joe, man. Listen, he made some good throws. He got the ball out of his hand. The ball went to the right spots. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, he wasn't hesitant with his reads. He was seeing what they were seeing. He wasn't, he didn't feel pressured, even though there's a lot of pressure around him. He made some really nice throws,
Yep.
and they were on time. Like those passes to Garrett, they were on time, man. They were just like, as soon as he cut the ball, it's there. So I'm very excited about what Joe Flacco did. And like I said, man, listen, we're gonna have bad games, but you know what I'm saying? He's a true professional, man. This is what he does, man. So he's the kind of player that's always gonna, give you what you need. He might not always give you the the great stats. So he might not give you the high completion rate, but he gets the ball. He had the offense flowing smoothly. And you got to realize this guy been sitting on the bench for a couple of years. This guy hasn't got all the reps during the summer. So listen, hats goes off to Joe Flacco. And I'm gonna tell you something.
Especially bouncing off of last week, dude. He bounced off last week's performance too.
But his reaction when he came in the locker room, bro,
it was awesome.
If you didn't feel that shit in your heart, bro, like, he's bouncing and jumping, man. Prime time, what you think, baby?
No, I thought early on he struggled a little bit, just as far as maybe holding on to the ball a little too long on the strip sack. He missed Brees Hall on that play. I thought he could have dumped it off. That would have been an easy touchdown. Later in the game, he missed a wide open Corey Davis. What would have been a big play. So there were definitely some moments where, you look at the film and you say, all right, those are balls where maybe if he gets it out a little bit quicker, Jets offense keeps moving. But in the clutch time, he got it done, and that's what matters. The throw to Garrett Wilson at the end was fucking money. Seeing Corey Davis just going straight down the seam like that. Yep. I mean, big time throws in the clutch. I mean, that's what you need from your quarterback. And it's funny too how he went from like the short leash coming into this game, where now it's like, all right, Zach, you can kind of take your time. We got quarterback with back-to-back 300-yard games. Offense is playing
fans,
well,
right?
You get that feeling, right? The way Salah was talking today, it looks like it could be week 5 for Zach Wilson. The way
still week 4 at a minimum. So
yeah, and that whole Joe Benigno take was just ridiculous too. We'll talk about that later, though. So
I didn't even hear what he said.
He said that Flacco should keep playing until he's not. Like, he doesn't care if Zach Wilson plays at all this year.
Didn't he just say last week that like the team was scared of playing Mike White?
The wind blew, and Joe Benigno's opinion changed. So now you go from Joe Flacco, who played well, to the running back position, and you saw a lot from both guys. And it's a lot of the same, where Michael Carter continues to fight for every friggin' yard, and Brees Hall get the ball in his hands out of the backfield, and the guy makes plays, man. He just takes off, and it's impressive, man. And we talked about it yesterday, prime time, where Ty Johnson comes in and pass protection because the other guys struggle. We saw them both get beat yesterday. Brees Hall and Michael Carter get beat in pass protection. So Ty Johnson's that veteran guy that does pick them up, but the running back group is good, dude. They're really good.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought up Ty Johnson, because like we've been critical of some of the back end roster moves, but it also seems like for a lot of those guys that are on the back end, they have very specific defined roles for them, where it's like Ty Johnson, he's your blocking back on third down. You have Ashton Davis, who's in the packages to close out the game. Obviously, they use all their defensive linemen. So it seems like they are trying to utilize and maximize what they have on this 53. You look at the snap count, Michael Carter, I think, had like 40 snaps. Brees Hall had like 17. So it seems like they're still working Carter in a little bit more. I think as the season goes on, you'll start to see a little bit more of Brees Hall. He showed that explosiveness yesterday. I like what they have with that 1-2 punch, man. Really do. Tyrone?
I love it. I mean, like I said, listen, man, I'm watching Carter. This kid, and we said this last year, bro, and we noticed it last year. This kid fights for every inch. And what I love with him, like when they say he's the heart and soul, you watch the kid on the sideline. He's running down, getting everybody pumped up, and I love that the way he runs. And I'm watching Brees, man. I'm watching this kid run, and he is just so freaking smooth, man.
Yep.
He's a smooth running back. Like, so I can't wait to see him move on. And like I said, and my apologies for Ty Johnson, because I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I was very critical of that because I wanted to keep Coleman, but I watched Ty Johnson come in and make 2 big ass blocks.
Yep.
That if he wouldn't have done that, bro, this game would have been over way earlier, man. Like, hat goes off to the running back. Listen, bro, Jody know what he's doing, because apparently, this mixture right here is reminded me of LT and Green, those kind of guys. It's just they got the best of both worlds, man. So I'm happy with it.
So then you go from the running back position, which is encouraging, to what is now becoming a breakout position for the New York Jets with a superstar in the making in the wide receiver group. And Garrett Wilson is just emerging, and it makes you frustrated he didn't play as much last week, but it's like what he brought to the table yesterday was remarkable, where you can't cover him. His route running is sick. He's tenacious. He's an intense competitor. He had the really big drop. He bounced back. He had over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And it's like he's already this year. Well, we thought Elijah Moore was going to be last year, right? Like he is that good. He is as advertised, dude. And I like the fact that they were featuring him in the offense. Like we always get frustrated where Mike LaFleur would rotate guys in and out. They wouldn't call the same player. They wouldn't feature a guy. They were literally Flacco was like, you know what? You're the guy. We're gonna keep feeding you the ball.
Stop him.
Which was excellent. And dude, this is what we want. This is how you build around your quarterback with young, explosive, legitimate game-breaking talent. Garrett Wilson, bro, could be a megastar, especially in this market with his like tenacity, man. I mean, primetime, what do you think?
Dude, that's exactly what you look for in a number one wide receiver. Just a straight dog, his personality, shit talking that, 14-year-old kid after the touchdown, telling Cleveland to shut up after, like, dude, everything about his route running ability, the yards after catch, like you mentioned, he had the drop in the fourth quarter, bounced right back after that. He's somebody that, you can't leave in single coverage against an average corner because he's going to roast you. The yards per separation on every route that he was running was ridiculous. Just such a great route runner, great
Came
after
back
the
from
catch.
Injury.
That too. Dude, I mean, if I'm getting a jersey, it's Garrett Wilson right now.
Yeah.
Kid is explosive as hell. Love watching him play.
And you know what's crazy, we're not stat people, but his separation was 3.6, led the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Watch
That route in the end zone, Tyrone, was ridiculous. You left him in
toasted him.
Bro, both of them, the first one or the second one.
The first one was nasty,
man.
First was nasty. Dude was still in his. Listen.
Yep.
This kid wiggle and route ability is amazing.
Yep.
And
his body control.
And Tyson, you said what he brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? I think Kanye West said it best. What you bring to the table, he said, "Fuck that, I'm the table." You know what I'm saying? Yep. This kid is absolutely a dog. And what I love about this kid and I love about the receiving core that we have right now is when you shut down one, the other two gonna flourish. You cannot do that. So it's gonna be times where they're gonna come after this kid. Yep. This kid steps up in every single way. Yep. And let's not take away from Corey Davis or Elijah, because listen, when they start, because these guys are seeing most of the heat. When they start shifting this around and they learn how to use these guys, bro. Listen, man, I am telling you, man. This is a really, really good receiving group. But watching this kid Wilson yesterday, bro, just come out there and like, look, stop me if you can. You can't stop me. This kid is And I'm gonna tell you, hold on one last thing, Tyson. When he took that hit on the sideline, bro, I thought he was done. I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
Man. He got smacked, But a couple plays later, the kid's back in the game, bro. Salute, man.
This guy, you're just a miserable person, dude. Why don't you just go somewhere else and take your negativity? It'd be easier for you. But the other thing,
how are we overhyping them?
Yeah, he's been negative the whole chat so far. But the other thing too is when you have a guy like Garrett Wilson who is that good, it's going to free up other guys. But the guys you're freeing up are legit. Like Elijah Moore is still a very good player that's still trying to find his own way. I mean, Corey Davis had a good game yesterday, but Barrios, like this opens up so many things, man. But this is like, dude, this guy has like that next level talent. Like this is how you compete with the rest of the NFL. This is how you go toe to toe with the best teams of football. And this is how you let your young quarterback prosper with this kind of talent around him, dude. It's exciting as shit, man. And you can't wait. And if they take away Garrett Wilson, fine. Let Elijah Moore go after you. Even Corey Davis, who did pretty good. Yep. It's just excellent. So you go from the wide receivers are very encouraging. The running backs are encouraging. The tight end position to me was disappointing yesterday. And because Conklin's so inconsistent, man. Like the drops, the fumbles. And it's like, and the one cool thing is he talked about it today. He's like, listen, I got to clean my shit up. Like, this is unacceptable. Uzumah was hurt. Rucker had a drop. But it's like, we kind of raised our expectations for the tight end group. And yesterday kind of was like Max Mitchell bailed out Conklin big time, dude.
Huge. Yep.
So definitely need more of that position as they go forward.
No, I mean, Conklin looks all right as a receiver. It's just a matter of him holding on to the football. He's fumbled in back-to-back weeks, had a big drop. Other than that, I mean, I think once Uzomah comes back, that's obviously going to help things out. I think that probably altered the game plan a little bit away from two tight ends. But yeah, I mean, I think Uzomah is huge. And like, just to touch on the wide receivers also before, Corey Davis, him in the run blocking was huge also. Like, these guys are willing blockers in the running game. So you throw Uzomah back into the mix once he's healthy, Jets are going to be legit with the running game.
Yep. And also, I think, listen, I think the OC is trying to figure out how to use these guys as well. You know what I'm saying? New guys in the building, not having one last year. You know what I'm saying? Being in that. So listen. The record drop, man. Listen, I chunked it up the nerves because this kid's gonna be all right. He actually blocked pretty good yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And Conklin, it's just gonna take him time. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? He has to clean it up because he has to, because the drop passes, the fumbles, but like I said, the way he moves across the field and the chess pieces both of these guys are,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? It's still early, so there's no need to get mad about it. Let's just see what happens. But you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as these guys are blocking and these guys sit on the field, that's all we can ask for.
So you go from, that of all the position groups, that was kind of one that was kind of disappointing. So then you go to the offensive line, where when I did my whole pregame thing, I'm like, man, Myles Garrett's going to feast. The Jets got a little break when Clowney got hurt. That definitely helped out. But for the most part, Flacco had time to throw the ball. They were able to run the ball a little bit. They had time to open up their offense and do things, which is more than I expected. And that's just, I just thought the matchup was going to be rough. George Fant played improved. Tomlinson was much better. And even Max Mitchell held his own, dude. Like, all things considered, like, he made a couple mistakes, but dude, you're a rookie going from Calais Campbell to freaking Jadeveon Clowney. It's not like he had like a, and there was times where, like the couple times where he gave up a sack, he had no help in the backfield where he got beat. The running back was going out in a route. So the guy had a clean path to the quarterback, which is kind of on the floor a little bit there. But dude, for the most part, the offensive line surprised me,
The fact that Max Mitchell is even out there right now, able to compete against legitimate defensive linemen, I mean, that's all you could ask for from the kid at this point. We said all offseason that he was still a project, 4th-round pick, probably needs a year or two before he's ready to play. So the fact that he's just out there and not getting beat every play, I mean, I think that speaks a lot about his potential. The only thing that really bothered me on the offensive line was McGovern. I think he had 3 penalties. That was killer. Especially the one, the holding that took back the run from Michael Carter. That was a huge blow right there, right before the half. But other than that, I mean, Fant looked much better. AVT's looking pretty good. Tomlinson had a much better game than last week. I think he only gave up 2 pressures this week. So a much better job. And I think that unit's only going to get better once they have some time to gel. Tyrone?
Yeah, I mean, you guys knocked it out the park, man. Listen, I mean, we're talking about with the rookie like Mitchell, bro. Listen, I'm content with what this kid has given us. The last 2 weeks, he's probably seen better pass rush than he's seen his whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? Listen, he went from one dog to another dog, and he held his own. Like, he gave up 1 sack against Clowney. Clowney is a monster, bro. He's not no, and something else too. When you're looking at what this kid is doing, this kid is growing. So for me, I want this kid to stay in his position. Like, he's always listen. He
so
recovered.
What do you do when Dwayne Brown comes back?
He'll be a backup. I'm not moving. Listen, man,
it's an expensive backup.
Oh, but listen, prime time. Like, listen, this kid has played well. Why not let this kid go through it now? And you got that problem solved. Listen, it's been 2 fumbles. This kid's always around the football. He always, you know what I'm saying? He's alert enough to dive on the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because when Tony got around him and smacked the ball out of Flacco's hand, that could have been a ball game, bro. You know what I'm saying? So listen, with him and then Fant, I told you guys, Fant will come back. He'll get back adjusted. Listen. Myles Garrett is not no average. He's the best defensive end in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He gave us some pressures, but he held his own, bro. You know, sometimes we knew he was gonna come back. Like I said, the McGovern hold, bro, that was big, man. Because man, my Carter broke off like 24 yards on that play, bro.
That was a huge play, man.
But listen, and I said on the preview show, and I said, told Primetime, listen, what I'm saying is, where you can run the ball against Cleveland is between the guards. That's our best place to run the ball. AVT, you know what I'm saying? ATV, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, bro. Held his own. Like, so listen, this line's gonna get better with time, man. Listen, these guys haven't played together. You adding a rookie in and you move Fant back to the left side, and they played against Cleveland, who is a solid front defense. They're solid, bro. They're not no beginners. So I'm excited. I'm happy, and I'm content to see what this line does next, man. Like, Cleveland, Cincinnati, let's go.
So then you go from just looking at the overall, I think Mike LaFleur, as opposed to last week, did a much better job this week. Obviously getting Garrett Wilson involved, getting the ball in the hands of the running backs, trying to find ways to offset the pass rush. Definitely a better game plan this week than last week.
A lot more creative too. I mean, at times we were saying, you're getting a little too cute with all the end arounds and shit like that. But at least he opened it up, and he had motion going on. He was trying to confuse the Browns a little bit. So I like that.
And I'm going to say this: I'm not going to defend him, and I'm not going to make any excuse for what happened last week. But I'm going to tell you, man, they didn't have any tape on what Baltimore was going to do. It's hard to attack a team that you really don't know what they're going to do. So
but you can't tell me how great you knew how great Garrett Wilson was, and you don't put him on the field last week.
No, I mean, absolutely, but but listen, but he answered that, and I listen, I was okay with that answer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But what he said was, he's like, this kid, you know what I'm saying? He thought life's gonna be too big for him, but he come to find out, this kid, he reminds me of, man, if he keeps it up like this, Jefferson out of Minnesota. He's that kind of
Yeah.
kid who just comes out of college, comes in day one, and just shows up and shows out. This kid's route running ability is amazing. So, the overall, like I think he called a great game. Like that double end around kind of
Yeah.
lost me on that one there, buddy. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
piss.
But
That one
yeah,
set me off, dude. I was like, there's no need for that.
that was a little extra. But the Barrios, I liked how he used everybody and he kept the game plan open. But then I also like when he realized the hot hand was Garrett, he kept going to him.
That's something he
and
hasn't.
that shows growth, Tyson. In
Yep.
prime time.
That's something he hasn't done in the past, dude. Like he actually made adjustments and he realized like the offense came out like they were prepared. They knew what they were doing. They knew where they wanted to go with the football. They had a plan, a rhythm, a rhyme, and everything else, and it gave us good results. The other side of the ball
We have to talk about the defense.
It was completely disappointing. Where the defense, when they say winning is a great deodorant, that applies to yesterday's game because this win hid that horrendous defense yesterday where if they didn't win this game, we'd be calling out some serious names right now and questioning Ulbrich and Saleh and what the hell their game plan was and how they came out so flat and unprepared in the first quarter. Because Tyrone, they couldn't get off the field. Cleveland went up and down the field at will against this defense, and they had no sense of resistance. And the most disappointing thing was you knew what they were going to do.
Yep.
They were going to run the football. And they had no pass rush. They let Joe for 3.5 quarters. This is what they did.
58
I was shocked, dude. I was shocked. So let's start with the defensive line where Primetime was losing his marbles yesterday because the rotations where they kept rotating. It's like they play 3 plays, they come out. 3 plays, they come out. Doesn't really matter. But they just the offensive line was manhandling them. They really were. I mean, Primetime, the defensive front, for the most part, Carl Lawson had the huge sack at the end, but it was a disappointing performance, man.
Yeah, John Franklin Myers, he had a decent game, had a couple pressures. Carl Lawson had the big sack at the end, but for the most part, they were getting shoved around. They were getting bullied. And I know it's Cleveland. I know they have a great running game. Not a lot of teams can stop them. But for all that we have invested in this defensive line, for the fact that everybody's fresh coming in the game, guys should know what they're doing. Guys should know their assignments, their gaps. Nobody should be tired at any point in the game because I don't think anybody on the D-line had more than like 35 snaps. So the rotation is always going to bother me, especially in the biggest moments. Like when it's a big third down, I should see Carl Lawson and Quinn Williams on the field every fucking time. When it's the fourth quarter and they're past the 50-yard line in your territory, those guys should be on the field every single time. So the rotation, I'll never understand. I get why he does it, but it'll never make sense to me.
They weren't even shedding blockers, man. They were just getting. I mean, Tyrone, you saw. I mean, they were getting pushed off the ball. They were getting, and it was like, and then Jacoby Brissett had all time. Like he felt comfortable in the pocket.
If Nick Chubb goes down at the end of that game and doesn't go into the end zone, we're taking a lot of receipts on that defense right now because the offense showed up to play. And if that game ends 30-17 with your defense playing the way it did,
100%,
not going to end well.
I want to say this about the defense. I will say this about, to me, Quinn played really well last night. I think if anybody on the defensive line, I think he played the best because I've watched him all over the field and I watched this guy make tackles. But listen, I think what bothered me more than let's start the line first. But I just felt like I don't like the rotation and like prime time. And both of you guys, I actually watched the 3 on, 3 off, but I don't like that shit. Like it just seems weird to me that you watch it and you watch it, guys just shoot on, guys shoot off. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like so, I just feel like it's not. You know what Cleveland was going to do, but I think Cleveland threw them off a little bit. I think they were more into.
They were outcoached.
Stopping the run. Well, I mean, they were outcoached. Well,
they were biting way too much on the misdirections and the play actions. It seems like they were getting all 4 guys going one way, and then the Browns just went the other way, and it was wide open, nothing but daylight.
I'm not going to say that they wasn't prepared for the run. I'm thinking they came. I think they were. I think whatever scheme game plan they had was the wrong one. I mean, I think I think what happened was Cleveland threw the ball a bit more than they thought they would, and they wasn't prepared for that. Because when we get to the secondary, bro, I'm going to really, really go crazy.
But this is the problem I have though, and it's like you want to see them adjust, especially after last week, man. Like they came out flat, like they didn't match the intensity, they didn't match the physicality. It's something that they did last week, like off the whistle last week. The first whistle they were like that. Yesterday did, and this is like. That your front, like in a game like this, that dictates everything because now your linebackers can't get nowhere. Like they're just getting pushed around.
Are you surprised that Saleh hasn't blitzed more? I think the stat was something like they sent only 4 rushers on like I don't know, like all but 17 plays or something like that. And a lot of times when they did send the extra guys, like they were actually getting pressure.
Dude, we were asking them to. Like, if you have faith, which we'll get into the secondary next, but if you have faith in Reed and you have faith in Sauce and everything else, then why wouldn't you take some chances?
Exactly.
Put those guys on islands, and if you can't get pressure and Brissett's getting free all the time, start to smack him around a little bit, rattle his cage a little bit, and do something.
And for the most part, listen. But I will say this though, they kept both of these guys in check, man. You know what I'm saying? Chubb was under 100 yards, and Hunt was under 63 yards. So I mean, listen, I know that's not it's 163 yards for both backs, but these are elite backs too, though. So for that part, I'm going to give them a little
It's
credit.
about 30 points to Jacoby Brissett, man.
Yeah, I mean, but and see, that's when we get to the back end. That was my problem because and
you had a bigger problem with the back end than
I had a bigger problem.
Yes,
between the linebackers, which we'll talk about the linebackers next. The linebackers, I think it was so weird to see the angles these guys were taking. They struggled in coverage. Like they also got bailed out by a big drop by Njoku.
Yeah,
Njoku makes that catch. It's a different game too. Like they got bailed out there, but dude, the tackles were sloppy. They were arm tackling. They're missing. They're getting just eaten up by blocks. It was almost like they were either not ready or they read the paper. They read their news clippings all week long. They're like, yeah, we're a good defense. We just know we're good. We can walk on the field and just dominate. And they couldn't, right? Like it just
even Mosley too on that one scramble by Brissett. He got spun like a top. Alexander, he had a couple plays.
Quincy Williams got a couple times took crazy bad angles.
A few times, yeah. Linebackers aren't good, man.
No, not at all. And I feel like also too, man. In coverage, they weren't as good as well as I thought they would be either. I watched Quan give a big catch on the side too as well. But like I said, man, moving that way, I don't know if these guys were just trying to make sure they maintain their gap hole so they couldn't cut it back. I don't know if that was part of the game plan, but to me, at moments they look lost. You know what I mean?
So and then you go. So the defensive front was definitely a disappointment. So then we'll go to corners first. So it was funny because everybody's like, nobody's going to challenge Sauce. Actually, what they weren't challenging DJ Reed. They were going after Sauce, but Amari Cooper, they went right after him. I like that. And Sauce was up for the challenge. He got hurt at one point. He got beat for the touchdown. Salah said it was a communication issue, which the safety position is definitely a communication issue because they're not very good right now. But I mean, I like the way Sauce competes. I like the way DJ Reed tackles. I mean, what'd you think, Ponte? And the other thing too, got to mention this. Brandon Eccles came in huge back-to-back plays with monster plays, dude. Like that was next level backup stuff from him. That was really good.
Back-to-back plays in the end zone. I mean, that was incredibly clutch at that time in the game. And of course, you forgot to mention LaMarcus Joyner, who absolutely needs to go.
That's a safety position.
It's the second. I thought we were doing the secondary.
We're doing corners. We're doing the positives first.
All right, well, sticking with just the corners then. Yeah, shout out to Eccles because that was huge. Even Sauce, like they were targeting him, but he only gave up 3 catches, 30-something yards to Cooper. I mean, considering Cooper, he's a good fucking receiver. So well done by Sauce getting hurt, came back in. Reed, like you said, great tackler. Gave a nice little speech in the locker room. I like the leadership that he brings. It seems like he's a guy that when he speaks, players are listening, and you want to have that kind of mentor for Sauce. So I like it.
I mean, my problem is this, and it's not solely with the secondary. It was a play call for the secondary. They were giving them guys way too much cushion, bro. I actually wasn't. Listen, we invest all this money in our secondary, and we got some dogs out there. Listen,
is that on the players or is that on the coaching though?
No, that's on the coaching. That's what I'm saying. It's on the coaching. That's why I said I had the problem with the secondary, but it's not necessarily the players themselves. It was the coaching, bro. I can't stand that, bro. Like, why are you giving Cooper 10 yards every single play? And that's how a lot of them chunk plays that Cleveland got is what got them in that rhythm. You know what I'm saying? If you watch it, you know what I'm saying? We're watching the game, seeing this. They're 10 yards off. You would remind me of
third and 2. LaMarcus Joyner was 5 yards back.
Exactly. What
get up on these guys.
You gave a Lowry reference a week ago. That's what it looked like to me. You know what I'm saying? 12, 15 yards off the ball. It's third down and 3. Why are you giving this guy so much cushion? That was the biggest issue I had with the secondary. You know what I'm saying? And I watched Sauce, and Sauce was playing back like that. And I'm like, you brought this young kid in. He's great at man press. He's long. He's strong. He's physical. Why aren't you having these guys
going away from his strength?
Absolutely. I didn't care.
You have 2 corners that can literally press and get after it in man coverage. Why are you taking that situation on third down and putting him in zone?
I think once Salah gets a little more trust in Sauce to kind of stay on an island by himself, then we're going to start seeing a lot more blitzes and shit like that.
I'm not necessarily looking for him to be on the island. I mean, because you were giving him help anyway. But what I'm saying though is listen, if this kid is good as press coverage you guys are talking about, at least let him jam him up, throw his timing off. And I'm saying, I'm gonna say this about Eccles, man. Listen. That's how I want my third cornerback to come in the game, bro. That's all I'm asking for. Come in the game, bro. Be able to play at a high level and be competent. That's all I'm asking. And he does that. And he plays with a physicality as well that you love. So,
not sure we're gonna see Bryce Hall again.
Nope.
I hope not. I mean, listen, when I saw him didn't dress, bro, you know how happy I was. And listen, I love the kid. I love him. He should be a safety though. Listen, this kid is not. He's not fast enough to compete at the cornerback level in this league. He's just not. I love him. You know
We
what
got
I'm
Brees Hall. We got a lot of plays in here tonight. So now we go from the corners, which we love what they're bringing to the table. The defensive line, a little bit disappointing. The linebackers, a little disappointing. And this is a feel-good Monday. This is a victory Monday. If Joyner never plays again for the Jets, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. It really wouldn't. Like he has become like Ashton Davis now. Like
he's the Pierre Desir of this defense.
Dude, he can't cover, he can't tackle, he can't do pretty much anything. And then Jordan Whitehead either trying to compensate for him or had an off game too, because the safeties were a complete liability yesterday.
Yep, absolutely.
No, those angles from Joyner, even though the one actually helped him get the ball back, both of those touchdowns were right on him. Terrible angles. Nothing you could do about it. I mean, I'd love to see a little bit more of Will Parks. He had the big special teams play. He just seems like a guy that has
I'd like to see
good
Jason
football.
Pinnock.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunately that can't happen.
Yeah.
But at least Parks, like he's a smart football guy. He's physical.
Yeah.
He's got good speed. Like he's a smart football player. I'd like to see a lot more of him, or even fucking put Ashton Davis out there. His one play gets an interception. He knew the defense, read the quarterback's eyes, had the game-sealing pick. Play him. I don't need to see Joyner.
My question for you is: everybody's praising Saleh for accountability. Well, if you're really praising for accountability, if you have blown assignments, like the touchdown that Sauce gave up was miscommunication. Something like Joyner's supposed to be the veteran. That's supposed to be like these guys are supposed to be the communication guys to help these young corners get along. They shouldn't be making these mistakes. And Joyner, he didn't play well last week either. Last week he was bad too. So you know, if you want to hold guys accountable, he should be kind of guys that start rotating him out then, because I like Whitehead. Maybe it was just, I don't know really what happened there. They were just both bad, dude. They were missing tackles, bad angles, just getting beat. It was just like, what in the hell's going on back here? And it's like, yeah, Tara, I'll let you go.
No. I like Whitehead, but also Whitehead, you know what I'm saying? He's playing with that high ankle injury as well. So maybe I'm going to give him a little bit. I'm not going to give him a pass, but I'm going to give him a little understanding that maybe that's why he's a little banged up a little bit. Now, Joyner, listen, this is 2 weeks in a row we watch him, make bad angles and get blown coverage. Listen, and you're the safety valve back there. So how are you able to, make this, those kind of mistakes? Not the guy that's the last line of defense. So, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So I think something has to be done, because when you start playing better teams, they're going to expose him for that, man. Because like I said, he's giving up really big plays. You know what I'm saying? And he's done it back-to-back weeks.
This chat is in rare form. So,
and let's not forget. I forgot to touch on this on the linebackers. That stupid fucking penalty from Marcel Harris, dude.
Oh, what's special teams,
bro? Bro, you're on special teams, bro. There's no need for that.
2.5 minutes left in the game. What a selfish.
You should be cut today.
What
you should be cut today. I don't care. So then, but the one thing is, like, last week the defense played really well. This week was very just discouraging, because you're like, man, this is what we saw last year. So hopefully they find a way to bounce back next week, because you don't want to go down this trend where it's like, like it's great the offense can carry the game and keep you in it, but the defense has got to hold their own. But the X factor of this game was special teams. So the first player you got to mention to me is Berrios. There are so many hidden yards in special teams, and Berrios was huge yesterday and just changing field position, giving Jets a better chance to score points. I mean, prime time, this is why he's an all-pro, right?
Absolutely. That's why they paid him, not just for depth in the slot, but for what he could do on special teams. And that was a huge return right before the half. So
I agree with you, Prime Time. I can't. There's nothing I can say about this kid, man. He brings it every time he catches the ball. You know what I'm saying? Listen, sometimes I get mad with the fair catch punts. You know what I'm saying? I get just, you know what I'm saying? But like I said yesterday, he played well, man. Like I said, he was definitely the special teams yesterday. Definitely was a big part of why we got the victory yesterday. So
let's talk Braden Mann and Greg Zuerlein.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. So now,
listen, hold on. We gotta hold on. It's some apologies need to be said here, because I gotta
say for shit. No, he's finally earned his paycheck. So now. But the one thing that we got to give Saleh credit for was the momentum in the game was clearly swinging. The Jets are getting ready to punt, and I'm like, prime time, they got to do a fake here or something. Like, it was 4th and 1, right? Yep. I'm like, you can't punt the ball here, and they pull out the fake field goal, and that was enormous getting that, man, because momentum was clearly swinging. The Jets were going to get routed because the defense was doing nothing. The offense was kind of stifled a little bit. That fake punt was huge, man.
Yeah, it was back to back 4th and 1s. Your defense just got smoked on their first drive. If they would have sent them back out there tired, you're looking at 14-0 right off the bat, and you're probably not coming back at that point. Yep. That was huge.
That was a huge fake punt, man.
I want to say this right here. Is our punter get the third best arm on the team? Because that was a good ass throw.
It could be second.
I ain't even going. Listen, I was so shocked with that, because I was already complaining about us punting against. You know what I'm saying? And then, great call by coach, man. It took a lot for him to make that call. He
But
made
that
it,
because can you
great
imagine if he punted
execute.
twice on 4th and 1? Be like, bro, how conservative? Like, you
Bro.
can't be all gas, no break,
No.
and pull nonsense like that.
Eh,
But then Braden Mann came through, man, and he came through with the onside kick too, which was a style kick I've probably never seen in my life before.
Yo.
We're making fun of it, like, how's the ball sitting there like that? And then he kicked across his body. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Yo.
And
Unbelievable kick. Great play by
Yeah.
Justin Hardy keeping that ball in bounds. I mean, well
that
done all
onside kick
around.
was
And,
incredible.
Yo,
I forget if it was like 2 drives before. He also had a great punt too. Pinned him inside the 10.
Yeah.
So well done all around by man.
Yeah, all around. And listen, go back to that onside kick, right? Listen. So the ball just turned sideways, right? So when he's approaching, you don't know if he's going left or right.
Nope.
So I was lost. So when the ball, like, oh snap! So listen, there's no way I thought we were getting the ball back. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I did not see that.
Me
Yo, and I'm just sitting there.
I knew
I'm
it all the
watching.
way.
Yeah, okay. But I'm watching guys dive. Yo, listen, man. That was an amazing sequence, bro. That special teams played their ass off, bro. They got a big part of that.
Well, and then you got Greg the Leg, man, who hit that 58-yarder, which was like that's what you have him for him because you're sitting here like, man, after last week, you don't know what to expect from him. Like, is he good? Is he bad? Is he gonna make it? Is he not? He nails a monster kick there too. He makes the point after, which is an accomplishment at this point. So that's special teams were a big part of yesterday, which was nice too, where you have 2/3 of your team contribute on a really high level, which is good.
Especially after the way they played week 1. They needed to be like
absolutely.
that.
Yo, listen. I mean, that first field goal, big. Yeah, listen. The funniest shit watching you guys when I watch you guys stream, it was when Tyson was like, he better make the fucking field goal.
Because meanwhile, Panero's hitting everything known to man. Panero hasn't missed yet. It's like,
but listen, like I said, man, we had one of the best special teams coach in the NFL. And listen, like I said, man, I'm not.
That's not what we said last week.
Yeah,
didn't you ask how this guy survived like 3 regimes last week?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, I still gave him. I still gave him. I still gave him his flowers. But at the end of the day, listen, man, I'm going to ride this victory Monday, bro. If we had lost, I'd probably have been different me. But listen, I'm just happy, bro. Listen, I mean, it was. Special teams played their ass off, bro. And you know what? One thing you said about the Reed comment in the locker room, man, and one thing I love what he said is like, we have not played complimentary football yet.
Nope, they haven't.
So that's the one good thing that, man, we got. I know that we were seeing the negative on both sides, well, all 3 sides.
Yep.
But 1 week is one side. It does more.
A game like that can bring it all together, though. Like the offense bailing out the defense the way they did, like that. That kind of shit can bring a locker room together. The way that everyone showed up for whether it was for their coach, the receipt comments, just for each other, whatever it was for, seeing the locker room after the game. That's the kind of shit you could build off of. That wasn't the same old Jets type of shit. Got to keep it up. You got to continue it week after week now.
And just being able to get these guys to understand complimentary football. That's all we want. And I'm telling you, if the Jets can get to that point right there, they're gonna be a hard out. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, shit, who got hurt?
Somebody got hurt in the Bills game, I guess. That's terrible.
Damn.
17-7 right now, anyway.
And shout out to Coach Saleh too for his press conference today. He said every. I mean, obviously, it's easy after a win, much easier after a win than a loss. But dude, he said everything right today. Like we're not getting too high after a win.
Yep.
Clearly, they have much bigger goals than just winning a game in week 2. So I like that he wasn't celebrating the same way he didn't want to write the season off after one loss. Like he's not getting too high after a win, keeping everybody grounded. I like that.
Well, the other thing too is like what I like is seeing like all the young players, like they needed this win, man. They needed it. It's been a long week, a lot of adversity, of all the bullshit in the media. Then it's like you get this win. It's like you could all exhale now. All right, now we can regroup. All our hard work's paying off. It wasn't pretty, but who gives a shit? Like it doesn't have to be pretty. It just win, man.
You get a taste of what winning is like.
Yep.
You get to experience that, and you feel like, all right, that's what it's going to take to do this shit week after week. All right, let's go. And as these young guys are getting more experience, like it should only get better. It should only get better.
Listen, and the one thing that you guys are not looking at, and most people aren't looking at, listen, adversity builds character. You know what I'm saying? So these guys being able to see us come down, but come back and get the win. That's big, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's big. To do some shit that hasn't been done in the NFL, you know what I'm saying? Like, to do that with this team, I mean, like I said, we got to come out next week and do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. It's like this is great. I mean, the most exciting part out of this for me is like you look at all the young players that are emerging and becoming prominent roles on this team. Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore. These are all first and second year players, man. That's how you change your culture. That's how you change the direction of your franchise. Now the missing piece is going to be the quarterback. Like if you can get Zach Wilson to come back and play along with these guys, and they all start winning games like this with Zach in the helm, then you got something.
And you had a great tweet today. There are zero excuses when Zach Wilson comes back with the amount of talent that this offense has. The offensive line should only be better by the time he's back. They should have plenty of time to gel at that point. They're already starting to look a little bit better than they did last week. Uzama should be back. You got two legitimate receivers with Wilson and Elijah Moore. Even Corey Davis is playing well. Your backs look good. Throw Berrios in there. Offense is loaded with weapons. This is not a talent issue on offense. Flacco's throwing back-to-back 300-yard games. You had Mike White with the 400-yard game last year. Josh Johnson threw for 300 yards. Multiple quarterbacks have gotten it done. So Zach Wilson, obviously, he's going to get a couple games to get acclimated once he's healthy. But the second half of the year, he's got to get this offense fucking moving.
And even Mike LaFleur now knows what these guys can do in this offense because he's seeing it firsthand. You've had a couple games. You're going to have probably, I'm going to guess 4 games. I think Zach's probably week 5 now. The way Salah's talking today with his bullshit. But even that, though, Mike LaFleur knows what this offense can do. And you can even expand it even more with Zach's athletic ability where he could run around a little bit. You do things. You know what Garrett Wilson can do. It should be plug and play. All right, Zach, here you go. Run our offense and let him flourish and let these playmakers make plays. And this is how you build around your quarterback. This is exactly how you do it. So it's exciting, man. I can't wait to see when Zach comes back. I mean, he's going to have some pressure on him, though. Definitely going to have some pressure on him. Like, the whole Joe Benigno thing today drove me insane because I don't understand the mindset where it's like, if Flacco wins, keep playing him. I don't care if Zach Wilson plays at all. What? The minute Zach is 110%, back on the field he goes, dude. He goes out and feel like
he's the future. I mean, listen, regardless, it doesn't work without him. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, they're not going to invest years in Flacco. Look, you know what I'm saying? It's always a great story for the Jets. But at the end of the day, the most important thing we need is the franchise quarterback.
Zach on the field, dude.
But you got to figure out what you have in him.
Exactly. But I love the fact that we have a team around him. It's something that, you know what I'm saying, that the mistakes we've learned from our past. You know what I'm saying? So we're able to fix that. So regardless if it's Zach or if it's not Zach.
And that's why we won't
in place.
And we won't have to have these bullshit debates, like we did with Darnold. Does he need an offensive coordinator? Does he need weapons? Like, he's got the coordinator, he's got the weapons.
I respect, and Joe's point was, if the Jets are winning, I just want wins. We all want wins. But what you need to know is what you have in your quarterback, and he needs game experience this year the minute he can play. This is it.
The only argument I'll have is that if we're seeing the Zach Wilson from that 3 or 4 week stretch from last year, you're not just hurting like the quarterback position and not getting an answer, but you're hurting Garrett Wilson, you're hurting Elijah Moore. Like, if he's still at that rookie level, that would be a problem. Otherwise,
you got to play.
Should be out there, and you got to figure out what you have. I agree.
But Joe's point was he could be 110%. He still wants Flacco to play until he starts losing. I'm like, no. The minute Zach is ready, on the field he goes. No questions asked. Like, I don't give a shit if they win 45-3 next year. He has to play, man. This season's about Zach and this offense. Like, Flacco may not even be here next year for all we know. Like, it was a wild take. And then there's other fans that are saying the same thing. I'm like, what are you, nuts?
No, I mean,
like, how do you want a healthy Zach Wilson on the sidelines? That's crazy.
And what it's about is this right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Primetime said earlier, once these guys get, like, the line gets some more work, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be open bigger holes. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gonna come down to when we start having mismatches. And like I said, the Zach's biggest issue is he don't gotta push the issue, man. Take what the defense give you. And watching Flacco, you should learn this. Flacco is not taking big shots. We watched Flacco take 1, 2, 3 shots. And that Davis, that was a miscommunication. He just saw it and bombed it. Then the other one, the Primetime talked about when he missed Garrett, and he also missed Davis one time too.
He missed Corey Davis wide open, man.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But if you watch him, he didn't check it down, but he took shots down the field, but they were within reason. You know what I'm saying? So that's all Zach needs to do. You know what I'm saying?
But it's funny because the same fans that wanted Mike White to play over Flacco last week now think Flacco's a hero and they don't want Zach to play. That's just wild. Like, Benigno's takes today, and I know people, like, I used to love him, and it's just, that made no sense to me. And I think the other thing that people are kind of talking about, it's like, they're playing Cincinnati this week at home, but this is the kind of game where you want to build off it. Like, don't let this be like the hiccup where, this was your fluke win, and then you go mail in next week. Like, you've got to find a way. And Primetime, to your point, I love the way Salah handled this. He wasn't like, he didn't get too low when they were bad. He didn't get too high when they're good. Like, he's like, you know what? We got to move on now. You've got to stack good performances together. Tyrone, to your point, you want to have good complementary football, but you got to build on this. Don't throw it up next Sunday because you want to keep this momentum moving in the right direction.
Great feel-good moment. Dude, enjoy it for 24 hours, and then right back to the film room, get after
Yo.
Cincy. They're obviously going to be looking for revenge. We beat them last year. They're 0-2. They got a
Yep.
lot of shit going on with that offensive line right now. But they're beatable. They're absolutely beatable.
Yep.
Yeah, it's prime time. Absolutely.
Got to show up.
And this is the thing right here.
Yeah.
This is the thing I got to say right here. Listen, like the one thing I'll take from Belichick, yo, he's like, we're on to whoever the next team is.
Exactly
yo,
right.
We're on to Cincinnati. Like, yo, listen, it was a great victory, great story. You had it Sunday, victory Monday. Yo, back on the field Tuesday.
The same old Jets would take a win like that yesterday and then come out with a dud on Sunday against Cincinnati. That cannot happen. That's what can. And even last year when they beat Cincy, when they beat Tennessee, I think each of the next 2 weeks were terrible performances.
Prime time. Absolutely.
That can't happen again.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing about it is too, and I'm gonna tell you guys this right here. Like, listen, Cincinnati's definitely beatable. Like, you know what I'm saying? But how are we?
They're also a couple field goals away from being 2-0 too, though. So
listen, but we're 4.5 underdogs in this game already, and I love that. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Listen, their line is horrible, so I will touch on it later on the week. But I'm just saying that, listen, it's time for our defensive line to eat. Like, the one thing about it is, and I know Carl Lawson's getting back in the swing of things, but I haven't seen that much from him, man, to really make me realize. But you play. I understand against Baltimore, you playing a very mobile quarterback. You want to set the edge. Understandable, but all I've watched him do is bull rush. I haven't seen him do any kind of moves other than bull rush. That's all I've seen.
We were saying that during the stream.
That's all I've seen. Nothing else.
But see, this is the kind of week where you need the veteran leaders like Jordan Whitehead, like Uzuma, like Lawson to say, you know what, keep everything level, man. We've accomplished nothing. We got our first win. It's great, but it means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. If you don't win the next game, you're only as good as your last performance. So if you go out like Primetime said, if you go out and throw a stinker at the Bengals, guess what you are? You're 1-2. So this win doesn't mean shit. You got to build. You got to keep moving forward, man. You got to.
Can I try to give us some insight on Cincinnati? I'm just asking. You think he still got some stuff that you know?
I'm
just saying. I'm just saying.
Like, you know what's interesting? Because I watched the game like everybody else did. The Bengals aren't as bad as people think they are, man.
Nah,
they're struggling. The offensive line is struggling, but they still got Burrow. They still got a shitload of playmakers. Their new tight end is probably better than Azuma. He's really good. The defense can get after. Like, you can't look past him. I'm really happy we won, but I also recognize that we got some breaks too, and the defense has to step up in a big time way next Sunday, dude. You have to, you got to do a lot of good things.
And Burrow missed a lot of time in the preseason too. I mean, he's still kind of getting back to form. Also,
listen. The one thing about it is they got a great receiving core, so our young guys will get tested. Our defensive line will get tested as well. But I will say this right here, though, and this is no knock on Dallas, but Dallas secondary is no comparison to ours. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? They got Lamb. Other than that, they have nobody else, and they were throwing the ball all over the place. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with the game plan. But we got to keep Flacco up as well. So our line, and it's going to be a long week. It's a great week of preparation. And Cincinnati's a really good football team. They won the Super Bowl last year. So, but this is the kind of week where you come back to enticing. All I was asking is let this game be going into the fourth quarter. And then I'm past that now. Let this game go into the last 2 minutes of the game, and I'm happy. Yep. Because in the fourth quarter, Tyson, we were down 24, you know what I'm saying? Whatever we were down, 24-14. So that happened that quick, you know what I'm saying? That it was that quick, that was, you know what I'm saying, that happened. So listen, we got a long way to go. I'm not getting too hype about it, but we need to clean some things up. But I mean, listen, this is a good football team.
Really bigger question is, do the fans show up this week? You got a feel-good win. Back home, got to show up. Make some noise. Give us a home field advantage for once.
That's you know what I'm saying?
I drove to work today, told the big thing on 287. Come see Jets Cincinnati.
Yo, listen.
Big signs all over 287 this morning.
Yo, but listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all, right? I'm telling you, did you watch them Jet fans, yo? At the end of the game in Cleveland, bro, they were going crazy. My man,
ones that were still there.
Yeah.
You saw that one Cleveland fan. He had a rant like we normally do after a loss.
Oh, yo, listen, that was funny as that. Yo, how do we? No, hey, listen, man. You know how you lost to the Jets, man? Y'all suck. I'm just saying. Talk shit, man.
Any final thoughts, prime time?
Feel good win, man. Like I was saying earlier, today wasn't the day to, question the defense or, they should have lost. The team didn't get beat. The Browns gave it away. Like, today's not the day for any of that shit. We haven't had a victory Monday in a while. This feels good. It's a young team. Hopefully this is something they can build off of. I love seeing all the excitement in the locker room. They got a taste of it. Now they know what they need to put in week after week to just keep building on it. So I'm excited. They've got explosive playmakers at skill positions that we haven't had in fucking ages. So I'm excited to see the direction of this team for the rest of the year and how they build off of this.
Tyrone?
I feel the same way. Listen, I'm not going to get too high. I'm not going to get too low. Listen, this is the first win in September in 2 years? You know what I'm saying? 2 whole
Since
seasons. that we
Darnold,
haven't-
since Darnold, bro.
Exactly.
His rookie year.
So we haven't won a game in September in almost 3 years. So listen, it's a long time, man. So to watch this team move forward and grow and get better every week, watching Wilson come along and become what he thought and we hoped he would be, watching the young guys step up and get more experience and get better. Like I said, that's all I can do. That's all I've ever asked for is to play competitive football. And like I said, our defense, you know what I'm saying? Next thing now is complimentary football. But our defense didn't play great. But yet and still our offense held them down. So I mean, listen, it's all moment, man. And I thought it's not too big for our coach. It's not too big for our players. Let's get excited, man. Let's get ready for Cincinnati. Let's enjoy this win.
When you find a way to get a win, you buy extra time to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
what this
Absolutely.
win did. It bought Salah and the defense and everybody else an extra few weeks to not have the media up their ass, to not have idiots like us up their ass. Figure it out now. Figure it out. Get that defense straightened out.
And just be happy with the win. But listen, know that you got to come back next week and do the same thing, bro. You got to come back this week and do the same thing. That's how good teams and champion teams are built, because everybody in the media said we were gonna be 0-9 going into week 10, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be favored in no games, but yet and still we 1-1, baby, and it's a long season. It's, you know what I'm saying, it's 15 more to go. So let's get it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Go enjoy some football. There's 2 games on right now.
Yo,
and
Buffalo
tomorrow night.
Buffalo beating the brakes off Tennessee, and then Eagles Minnesota 7-0 Eagles.
Wow.
Tomorrow night, all the callers come on. We can celebrate a Victory Tuesday too. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Good night.